I made this TikTok and that went viral, and I received a lot of hate on that. That made me cry because it was not a nice thing to say in a comment publicly. Because I named myself the Emirati coach. That name is so heavy, and I'm by no means qualified to represent a group of people. We're spiritual beings in a physical body, and we can't ignore one or the other. They're both there. The body is made out of bones, muscles, and fascia.
Are emotions and trauma stored in the fascia?
Have you seen those videos of like a leaf being cut off and then the energy of the leaf is still there? I love how things used to be back in the day. I'm still a modern person and I drive a car and have a phone. And
You have a phone?
I have a phone. I had 2 phones, but recently I stopped. I just have one now.
Progress.
I'm so humble. The beauty of life is balance. And the challenge that we all struggle with is to find balance between the extreme left and the extreme right. Because just like in an airplane, if you want to help someone else, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you can help others. Well, part of me, I don't know if this is something you want to keep.
I don't know also if I want to keep this. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Decoded Journeys. For this episode, I'm super excited because I have the first Emirati guest in the podcast, Shahad. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
How do you feel?
I feel relaxed.
That's good. Did you feel nervous before?
I did a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what we were going to talk about.
I mean, I still don't know what we're going to talk about.
Me neither.
Yeah. I used to plan a lot. And then I just felt like it doesn't go well with me. Like, okay, having structure, like having topics to know what we're going to dive into, to have a clear structure, but also to be able to flow.
Yeah.
يعني ما أحب يوم يكون كنا interview.
Yeah,
You know?
love that. It's the duality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
I'm doing well. That's what I love to say. There is a little bit of uncertainty in my life right now. Going deep. Yeah.
Uncertainty with what?
I'm not sure where I'm going with my life, to be honest with you. Yeah. I've done a lot of things. I learned a lot of things, and I love to share that. But it's not clear which direction I have to focus on. And like you learn in life that you have to choose one path and focus on that and just move forward.
Yeah. Do you mean like career-wise?
Career is part of it. I think as a feminine body, career looks different. And being, let's say, a housewife or a stay-at-home mom is also a career. So it's just that life path of what happens in the future, career being part of it, or also staying home is part of it.
Yeah. So I've been following you for some time on Instagram, and it's obvious that you're on the self-development journey.
Appreciate it.
And like you're very connected to nature. Like I see you traveling to these places, walking barefoot on grass and on the rocks and all of these things. What kind of inspired you to live this way?
I think being from Dubai and living here, it's a beautiful place where there is a lot of energy coming in, coming out, a lot of things being produced, and not a lot of nature. And because I grew up here, I didn't know a lot of nature, like I didn't go to a forest until I was an adult, Yes, I grew up very close to the beach, and I used to go to the beach almost every day. My mom actually used to take us to the beach before we wake up and then just put us there and allow us to wake up with the sound of the waves. But yeah, I don't know, just feeling like the city gets too much and it's all concrete, plastic, unreal material that just lacks that soul. And then when I travel, even if I'm not like in nature, some of the old towns that I visit have like rock walls that are so nice to touch. Like I look that crazy person that goes to Rome and touches the walls. And I'm like, wow, a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm very fortunate that I'm able to travel and, you know, see those places. And because I'm also on like a health journey, I started very early to, you know, just care about my health because there are so many diseases in my family. So it started with food, exercise, but then I realized that being in nature itself is healing. The sound of the waves, the birds, the soil, all those things are super healing. And we don't really talk about it that much in the health space.
Yeah. So did you study health in university?
So I studied, this is a funny story. Initially, I studied chemical engineering.
Oh, wow.
I don't think a lot of people know this. I studied chemical engineering for 2 years, and I did enjoy parts of it. I'm very passionate about biochemistry, and I studied it in the beginning because there were job opportunities in the oil and gas industry here. But then I started working, and then I realized this is not important. You know, no one actually, this is not the life I want. I don't want to work offshore on some oil rig, you know, this is not the life I want. So I switched and I studied business. But when I was doing that, I was also working and studying online and also experiencing a lot of diseases in my family. And that ignited something in me that made me, I felt like there is more to life and there are more reasons to get sick than just your DNA. And the fact that it's in your bloodline is not, you know, a definite reason that you'll get whatever disease. So I started just researching about health and wellness and finding online courses and, you know, experts that teach amazing courses and signing up for that. And then eventually going to them in person and learning from them. And that was the journey I took. That's what I studied. I studied so many things.
Yeah. So you started like very grounded, like health. Then when did you kind of go to the spiritual side of things?
I think when I started yoga, because being from this community, it depends who you talk to. Some people will look at yoga as a prayer of Buddhism or Hinduism. And I started for fitness reasons. I was like, it's a workout, you know, they taught it in my gym. So I didn't have to go to a yoga class. It was in my gym. And I had an amazing teacher, actually. And I just started doing yoga. And then in yoga, when you get familiar with it and you allow your body to flow in the poses and in between, you kind of travel somewhere else. And you realize that there is so much more. And then from there, I started learning more and more and just meditating, which is the simplest form of yoga, the initial form of yoga. And you really can go to so many places with just meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say go to many places,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
Well, you can go inside. You can go inwards with your thoughts and sometimes not your thoughts, your body, how you feel. Because when you get physical pain, it's after you've ignored a part of you for so long. You know, a lot of people have thyroid problems because they've ignored how they get rejected or shut off when they start talking. And then they have thyroid problems. And now they're going to a doctor and treating it like something completely outside of them, when the root cause is the way you either speak too much or not speak enough because you're not allowed to. You know, so those little pain feelings that you feel are actually messages. And if you meditate and you go inwards and you fully allow yourself to feel that pain, whether it's physical, emotional, you can go on a path of healing it on your own without a doctor. And then, of course, you can also go outside, because humans are such a small fragment of the wider universe. And if you go outside, There's so much.
How do you go outside?
You go outside not by, I guess intention is part of it, but not by forcing it. You don't want to forcefully want to go outside. You want to be.
Mm-hmm.
The first step is to be. And then just allowing whatever wants to happen. Maybe today you'll go inside, maybe another day you'll go outside. And some days you'll go nowhere. And that's part of it.
Yeah. What's the hardest thing you find when you started meditating? Like sitting in stillness, or was it visualizing?
I think each person will have a different answer, but obviously you asked me. So I'm a very visual person. So visions do come to me easily, unless I want to visualize something, because then there is force. Then I don't. Sitting down, I would say I used to find that difficult because I'm a very energetic person. I love movement. I'm a Vata. I move a lot physically, and my thoughts and the words that come out of my mouth can come out too fast. So that's definitely part of me, and there was a little bit of struggle in the beginning of my meditation. And also even now, like sometimes you're good and you can chill and meditate and it's easy. And no matter how long you've been meditating for and whatever is happening in your life, it could, it can kind of trigger you and make you a little bit jittery and not able to fully sit down. But I also think that's the challenge and the beauty, because without challenges, it's just stagnant, right? So there's no beauty. So, and I talk to a lot of people, obviously, and I'm like, you should meditate, because I love giving advice, even if I'm not asked to. And they tell me, like, I struggle to just sit down. And there are practices that they can do to improve, but also that's not something to stop you from meditating. If you can't sit down and meditate, that's exactly why you should sit down and meditate, because you need that stillness. It's obviously not in you, and it's somewhere in you, but it's not currently your reality. So if you force yourself, allow yourself, not force, allow yourself to sit down and meditate and be in stillness. That's, that's the beauty, that's the challenge. That's why you need to find that balance. Yeah. And at the same time, I don't think meditation is just sitting down and breathing and closing your eyes. You can do so many things and still being mindful. And I think those meditations are even more beautiful,
When you say meditate in stillness, do you mean like also without music?
I love doing it without music. Music is a very funny thing, because not every kind of song or vibration is healing. And some of it is the exact opposite of healing. And then you can practice doing it with some music if that's something you enjoy. But personally, I like no music. And usually I love to do it outside. So whatever natural sounds I feel or hear are part of the journey. And sometimes there are unnatural sounds, and that's also part of the...
Can you repeat sometimes the unnatural? Because هذا بينسمع.
But I think that's connected. Sometimes it's so divine, it's so aligned. Sometimes I can repeat it. Sometimes no music and just outside in nature. And even indoors, sometimes you can hear nature. And those natural sounds are so healing. But sometimes there are unnatural sounds. And depending on where you are in life, that can trigger you. And that's exactly the trigger that you're supposed to experience in this meditation. That's the challenge. That's the beauty. It's not stagnant.
That's something I'm trying to recently explore. Because every time I'm meditating, I'm going somewhere. I'm being something. I'm becoming something. I mean, not being something. And I don't mean something weird. Like I'm just trying to become this version of myself in this reality, in that reality, or who I am without all of this. يعني كله I'm trying to change or visualize, and it doesn't come naturally. I'm like, you see this. I'm trying to like force it. And now I just find that it's not خلاص just doesn't work. But also doing it in stillness is challenging because I'm so used to distracting myself, you know?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting that when you start meditating, when you sit down, يعني أقصد when you start the process, not يعني when you start it أول مرة in your life. Like when you sit down to meditate, the thoughts can seem very real. Like you actually, you're not hungry, you just ate, but a thought will make you feel hungry. You don't want to go to the toilet, but your thought will make you think you need to go to the toilet. يعني your body's trying to find different things to actually, بس عشان you don't meditate.
I know.
You know? And something else that I wanted to ask you. A few weeks ago, my friend texted me. She doesn't meditate at all. She asked me, Rashed, I struggle meditating because I can't quiet my thoughts and I can't shut my thoughts up. And I don't know how to do that. And I think that's the worst approach to even approach meditating. I don't know if you agree.
Yeah. I think obviously we have thoughts. We're supposed to have thoughts. I know sometimes we want to quiet the mind, and that's beautiful. But if you never had thoughts, that's a problem. You're not a functional human if you never have thoughts. It's okay to not have them for a while. And meditation is not to stop the thoughts. Meditation it can have so many definitions, but what I'll say here is meditation is to allow yourself to see the thoughts, allow them to come, wave at them, let them pass by, without getting so into them, without feeling them and allowing them to trigger you or be your reality. And sometimes, depending on, again, where you are in life, maybe you are supposed to connect with that thought and allow it to be you and your reality. And maybe that will make you cry, maybe that will get you emotional. And that's why meditation is healing, because it's not just sitting down and doing nothing. It's either disconnecting from thoughts that are not really important, but if they are right now, then it's feeling them and allowing your body to process the emotion, the thought, and just do it. Just allow that emotion, thought to take over you. Obviously, make sure you're in a safe space and all those things, but don't force yourself not to do something. I get this thing where when I'm meditating, I get an itch in the weirdest spot, here. And I'm like, why is it itchy? It's not even itchy. But because my body's like, I want to move. I want to do something. I want to get out. I don't want her to meditate and process her thoughts and, get in a higher consciousness and see things from a broader lens. And I used to itch, and you're allowed to itch. You're allowed to allow that trigger to do its thing, But in the same time, after some practice, you realize it's actually not itchy. It's just my mind playing games, And you just tell yourself it's not itchy. And you move on so quickly.
When were you able to differentiate between your mind, body, and the heart, like the three voices?
Mind, body, heart.
We said mind, and
Yeah.
the other one is, what do you choose to say, body or heart? Intuition.
I would say the gut is very important. The body is interesting because you can look at the body as a separate thing, and then the spirit as a separate thing, and then both of them kind of merge together, and that's the duality of life. But I think separating the mind, heart, and gut, God, I don't know when exactly I realized it. I guess therapy helped. I started therapy when I was 19. And I stopped for a while and then went back and stopped for a while. But, having a therapist, even if you work with her long-term or short-term, they do act like a guide, and you could feel things in your mind, heart, and gut, and body, and soul, and so on. And somehow you don't realize those things. And having a mentor or a guide tell you, it's so useful. But in the same time, you can do this without a mentor. But it's so easy if you do have a mentor.
Yeah, very off topic.
Yeah.
How was it as a woman in the Arabic community entering this field, especially publicly?
I don't know. I get questions like those sometimes. And I might be wrong, but I really didn't feel like it's a thing because I'm a woman. Like I never saw that, you know? It's just me entering this field. Like gradually building a passion and studying it and entering the field. I never felt like there is anything that changes it for being a woman. You know, it's not like there is less privilege or more privilege. And some would say there is more privilege because women are more intuitive. So healing the body and nourishing the body spiritually and physically is a very feminine thing. But in the same time, you can look at it in a disadvantage because there are so many women that are healers and out there publicly teaching and sharing. So maybe you can say it's a competitive market. But personally, I don't know. I just got into it because my journey just led to it and I have passion for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I asked the question, I meant specifically like personally. Did you feel any fears of being out there? Did you feel any doubts? Were you excited? Were you what was going on inside, not outside?
Those fears are constantly there because there is so much like judgment, I guess, you know? Like the way I got into it between my family, gradually I got into health and, you know, started making different choices with food and where I go and exercise. And my family's mostly supportive, you know. They might have made some comments here and there, but nothing they never tried to, you know, change me or make me fit in a certain way. So I had that freedom. But then with my online platform, because I name myself the Emirati coach, I think that name is so heavy. And I chose it knowing that. I don't know. There is constant fear when it comes to being publicly the Emirati coach. I think the health aspect of it it's not what worries me. It's how people kind of, I don't know, just assume things. And at the same time, I'm being told by a lot of people that I'm not supposed to assume what people will assume. You know, I'm not supposed to like go a step ahead of them and assume for them, you know, because a lot of the times those are just fears, right? They might have a completely different opinion about me. But there is a little part of me that's, I don't want to say judging myself, but just keeping myself accountable of like, I am the Emirati coach. I chose that name. And part of it is me representing a culture, you know, representing a whole group of people. And I'm by no means qualified to represent a group of people because everyone is different, you know. And I didn't have them very traditional upbringing. My parents didn't really teach me a lot of things about my culture. And for a while, I didn't like that. Like, I hated how they parented me because I'm like, why did you not teach me about, you know, my roots, my traditions? I'm supposed to know this. But in the same time, the, you know, grown-up me realizes that they had a lot of other things to worry about while raising me and my siblings. So now it's time for me to find my roots and understand that more. And I've been doing a lot of that recently. And there's a lot to learn. Like, I don't claim to know everything about Emiratis. I am more comfortable speaking in English than Arabic. And sometimes I feel like I'm not even good at speaking in English. And because, again, my thoughts happen too fast and I can speak too fast. And, you know, sometimes words just merge together and it's English and Arabic and some new word that I made up, you know? So I think the name that I gave myself is where I sometimes find it challenging.
You still do?
I would say yes.
Any pressure?
Pressure that I put on myself and no one else did.
So you never got any judgment online?
Not a lot. Rarely I do, but not too much.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
It's just you fearing, like assuming, as you said.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all in my head.
One thing that's good here is that there are rules for people that actually attack people online.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I always think about that.
Yeah.
Even though, like, the biggest stars still get people that judge them. But I realized on TikTok, like, people want to hate, but they would rather comment like, I'd rather shut up because I don't have lawyer money. Like, you see these comments?
When I started my online platform, I was a faceless account. So I think I was creating more freely back then. And I was using TikTok a lot more heavily. And my content was a lot about things that I don't buy or things that I don't use or things that I'm against, rather than the positive, method of delivering a message. It could be the same thing. Like, I don't buy this brand. This is one way of delivering it. But another way is I do buy this and I do support this because this is good. But I chose that one. And I think because I studied business and I connect the business and the health and all parts of me kind of merge on my TikToks, I'm showing something that would, entice people, sometimes trigger them, sometimes, just wanting to know, like, oh, why do you not buy this thing? I made this TikTok about not buying baby carrots, and that went viral, and I received a lot of hate on that from different countries, like globally, global hate. I made a lot of other TikToks where people made comments of, disbelieving in whatever I'm saying, which is fine. Everyone is allowed to have an opinion. But that video specifically, because it went viral and a lot of people stitched it and basically told the audience that my facts are not correct. Some of them actually backed me up. That made me cry. And I remember that day, like, that's the only DM, because it was not a nice thing to say in a comment publicly. That made me cry, even though it was from a nobody that I know, a faceless, like, no photo account. It did make me cry. And I remember telling my dad that. And my dad was like, if you're going to be publicly out there, you're going to receive those things. So there was that. But then I started putting my face, and I still sometimes think to myself, like, I want to go back to faceless. It's so much easier to not be recognized. And like, I think, because I live in Dubai, I see it as a small community. Like, it's not too big. I go to the same 3 restaurants. I don't go anywhere new, even though there are a lot of new places. I have this like thing where I don't want to be recognized outside. Because online, my platform is the Emirati coach, where I'm a coach of many things and I help people and inspire people. But in my personal life, I'm still that person, but I like my peace and quiet, So that does come to me sometimes. And you'll notice sometimes I don't post my face at all. And then sometimes I'm like, hi guys, la la la, So it's a flow between both.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think since I came out with my face and the Emirati coach had a face now, there is a little bit more of a boundary of people not crossing it. And I love that about the platform. And that's exactly why I want that to stay that and my personal life to stay separate, because I love privacy.
So interesting. Something just came up when you were saying that. When a faceless account posts content, they feel free.
Yeah.
But people also feel like they're free to attack because they don't see the human in the person that's posting. But when someone, like when you showed your face, it can feel like, okay, why am I doing this? But now the audience are like, okay, we can see and there's a human behind the screen, which makes them not comment the same thing that they would if you didn't show your face.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I never thought about this before.
Yeah.
So you said you got your spiritual awakening during yoga. Like yoga, I tried yoga once. Didn't feel like it was my thing because of the setting, not because of the actual practice.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't understand it. That's why I can't feel the depths of it. And a lot of people don't understand it.
There are so many different yoga styles. And then in each style, there are so many different teachers. And each teacher will have her own unique style in that style of yoga. And I think for you to try yoga once or even twice and say, no, this is not for me, maybe it's not for you. But there are so many other styles that you can explore because something might be for you. And then, humans have so many layers, just like an onion. The yoga aspect is very much the physical aspect. And if you tackle that first, because it's the outer layer, I touched the mic.
How do you?
Okay, if you like touch someone, you're touching their physical body first. And that's the first layer. You know, yes, there is an aura and you touch the aura first, but we're going to speak about the physical first, because when I shake someone's hand, they don't feel my aura before they come. They might, it depends. Are they connected? Have they peeled the onion? Did I peel the onion? That's a whole nother thing. But the physical aspect is there. And yoga is a physical, it's a lot more, but outside it's physical. And then when you move the body in different yoga poses, they energetically create channels and openness in the body. And then those energy channels, once they open physically, because you're pushing them, they don't fully open physically, but you're pushing them to open physically. Then the journey starts of the non-physical, you know, peeling that outer physical layer, moving the energy in the body, and then realizing there is energy in the body. And you can move it without physical work. You can still do the physical. The physical is beautiful. The physical is a huge part of us. We're spiritual beings in a physical body, and we can't ignore one or the other. They're both there, and they're both so beautiful to work with.
Yeah. I feel like every time I ask people about yoga, I get like more understanding. And I would say I'm pretty, like I understand a lot of things about spirituality or wellness, but when it comes to yoga, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But what I know and what made me curious about it was someone was talking about how the movements are channeled, just like it's just a way of connecting to what is. And I don't know, just made me wanted to experience it, but I just never found the right person or place to do it. Or maybe it's not the right time for me now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to know, how is yoga a fitness practice when you're just moving slowly?
Well, some yogas are moving super slow and some yogas are moving super fast. And you can tell that the super fast is a modern style of yoga. And it's enjoyable. And I think it's a great place to start for people that are, let's say, less spiritual or know less and they want to exercise, because it's very much an exercise when you're doing the modern styles. And then if you want to do the slower paced, it's still an exercise because the body is made out of bones, muscles, and fascia. And fascia is what keeps us healthy. If you stretch the fascia, it's so simple, just stretching it and holding it for like 5 minutes, maybe more, but let's say 5. You're fully, like the fascia, when you first stretch it, it's like, meh, I don't want it, but whatever, I'll hold it. But then when you hold the pose for too long, moving slowly, the fascia eventually is like, okay, fine, I'll do it, I'll stretch, you know? So real stretching only happens physically when you hold the stretch for a while. So if you can reach your toes and get up, good for you, but you're not stretching. If you reach your toes and hold it, that's when your fascia actually stretches. And being healthy is not about, it can be about building muscles and having a good heartbeat and so on. But to stretch, that really keeps everything in your body healthy. Because fascia is wrapped around everything in the body, muscles, bones, joints, inside the organs, outside the organs. It's all over.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Are emotions and trauma stored in the fascia?
They're stored in many places. There are so many energy points in the body, and depending on your unique experience, they would be stored in different places. Not specifically fascia, but fascia is probably around there.
So the fascia is a muscle outside?
The fascia is not a muscle. Fascia is a completely different thing that we don't learn about in school, because back in the day, they found it useless. It's like a spider web that's around the muscle, inside, between like two muscles, around the bones, around the joints. They can wrap around the organs in the body. It's exactly like a spider web. And back in the day, whenever there's a surgery, doctors used to just discard it because it was not important. It was not studied. People didn't know what fascia is. We know bones and muscles. So now the new science is realizing fascia is actually so important for the longevity of your body.
How do you balance physical body work with spiritual work? Like, have you ever found it hard to balance both?
They both come together. When I'm doing a yoga pose, it's also energetically there. Have you seen those videos of like a leaf being cut off and then put under, I don't know, some sort of, and the leaf is still there. The energy of the leaf is still there. The physical was cut off, but they're together, they're merged together. You're a soul, a spirit, an energetic thing inside a vessel, a human body. And you can move one and the other will naturally move with it. You might not be aware of it. One of them might move more than the other, but they're both moving together.
Yeah. So other than yoga, what have you explored?
So many things. One of them is tapping. Like tapping is merging the energetic with the physical. And you don't need to learn tapping. I never learned tapping in a traditional sense. But if you feel like your heart is heavy or, something else, whatever, maybe you tap your heart. If you have a headache, you naturally just touch it. I think just touching your body, getting familiar with your body, it sounds so weird and people don't really do it unless they have to. But sometimes we just forget to hold ourselves, I think children are great teachers of that. When they fall, they immediately hold their arm, leg, whatever they hurt. And they also scream. And vocalizing things is so powerful energetically.
Yeah.
When you get hurt, when whatever, something happens, it's either sound or you holding it. Those things are combining the physical and the non-physical.
Yeah. Yeah, I always do this intuitively.
Yeah, it helps. You naturally know, and this would help me.
So when it comes to alternative living, would you say the way that you explored alternative living is going back to how we used to live before?
Okay, I want to know what you mean by alternative living first.
Anything out of the norm?
I think I love how things used to be back in the day. And when I say that, I often get asked but I get the comment of people died early or people had so many diseases, and how I view it, because I'm still a modern person and I live in one of the most active cities and I drive a car and have a phone and charge my electronics. And
you have a phone?
I have a phone.
Really?
I had 2 phones, but recently I stopped. I just have one now.
Progress.
I'm so humble. So it's a balance of, what our ancestors did that was successful, taking that, and what the modern human is successful at and taking that. And sometimes maybe it's not successful. Like having a phone, I would love to not have a phone. I would love to not have any electronics. But I do live in this world and I do play the game of this human body and all the interactions. And, a phone is essential, and if I have the time to take a break from my phone, I would, and I have, but it's balancing both what was successful back in the day and what's, let's say, essential. And essential could be different for so many people. Like some people do need 2 phones, 3 phones, a laptop and an iPad. I only need 1 right now. In the future, I might bring my second phone, It's balancing both. And I think the beauty of life is balancing everything, because nothing is gray. It is black or white. And it's balancing that makes it gray, if that makes sense, but it's not gray. It's yin and yang. It's physical and non-physical. And the challenge that we all struggle with, most of us, is to find balance between the extreme left and the extreme right.
Yeah.
So about hiking, because I love this. People hiked as a way of transportation back in the day. It wasn't a fancy sport. And they hiked in whatever they had, Maybe they're barefoot. Maybe they have like a bag over there. I don't know. They hiked with whatever they were wearing. It wasn't a thing that they do to post on Instagram. It was a thing that they did to go from point A to B, you know? And same thing goes with yoga. When I tell people maybe you should practice yoga or let's practice yoga together, I get those like, oh, I don't have the latest outfit, you know? And it's like, no, you can practice yoga in your PJs. You just need to be comfortable enough to move in whatever you're wearing, you know? Don't wear a dress where you're sucked in and you can't move, but wear anything that you can move your body with. You don't have to, like this whole, you know, polyester tight clothing thing, that was not the original yoga outfit.
It defeats the whole purpose of the eating.
And then polyester is not good for you, especially when you're sweating in a hot room, you know? So health and wellness became an industry, and it's beautiful to see it as a trend because more people are becoming aware of it. But you don't need to subscribe to all those things where you have to spend on it.
I agree. I don't think it's also a coincidence how the bad stuff are the most accessible and cheaper.
I think anything that's accessible is therefore commercial, and therefore someone is selling it and making money out of it.
Think twice.
Yeah.
When you drive on a road, how many healthy restaurants do you see?
The other day I was driving and I saw a very clearly lost tourist looking on their phone and like being confused and like, taxi, no, they left, you know, and I felt like I want to stop and help them because like I know those roads, I know how to go from point A to B. And because the road was moving, I couldn't stop. But also in my head, I thought if I did stop and they asked me about a restaurant, I will lag. Like I don't know about all the new restaurants that are opening almost every day. I said this before. I know like 3 restaurants that I like and go to, and like that's it, you know. How many restaurants that are healthy? Yes, sometimes I do see new ones. I wouldn't say I pay a lot of attention, so probably there is more. But a lot of the time they're not actually healthy. And this is a little bit of a struggle because I want to support small businesses and local businesses. And I think it's great that they're bringing the word health into, you know, the awareness out there.
If Cheetos in a burger is healthy, then why عنا healthy restaurant? As خلاص we should end this era of Cheetos in food.
Oh, I don't get the chips Amman thing and everything.
I remember I was talking to this friend. I was like, what's your favorite pasta? I'm like, Alfredo, Bolognese, Arrabbiata. And they're like, اللي مع Cheetos. Aren't you Italians? Or...
Don't tell them. Yeah. Oh, the other day I made a pasta with labna and za'atar.
Cheetos?
No, Cheetos. It was so good, but like I could not post it online because I know so many Italians that would block me.
But that's not as bad as Cheetos.
But it's just Italians being super protective over their original form of their food.
Like imagine حد يجيب خمير ويسوي taco. Honestly,
I've seen
that would be so
nice. I had a khamir burger. It was really good.
When?
One of those desert cafes that are only open in the winter.
بسوي في البيت روحي.
سوي في البيت, yeah. You got this.
Speaking of food, مرة كنت في البيت. هذا كان أيام يوم كنت كل يوم أكل برجر في الليل. It was crazy. I like how we just talked Arabic.
Yeah.
There wasn't burger buns. There was only croissants. So I was like, let me reshape the patty into the croissant shape so I can use the croissant as a bun. Best decision ever. Then I went to Bali. There was a whole restaurant that actually only uses croissant. Croissant pizza, croissant tacos, croissant burger. Then I was like, why am I giving out people my ideas for businesses?
Someone will start this.
But yeah, speaking about the restaurants on the roads, like, what is most accessible? McDonald's. في كل محطة شيء McDonald's. في كل محطة شيء drive through. كل محطة شيء Starbucks. حتى Starbucks. People who think they're getting almond milk coffee and they're healthy.
Horrible.
Please read what's in the almond milk.
Yeah.
Because my body's like, don't have, I don't know how to pronounce it, xanthan gum.
Yeah. That's exactly why I stopped being vegan. I was vegan for 7 years. And one day I just stopped and I started having dairy and fish and slowly meat. Never chicken. Because I just realized everyone is asking me like, why did you stop? Did you get sick? Did something happen? because usually people have dramatic stories. And for me, it was just like, no, I just realized vegan food is not food anymore, And that's when vegan food started becoming popular and, in a sense, more accessible. Because I was working in a place where we have a lot of restaurants indoors, and a lot of them had multiple vegan options. So like the little vegan me was like, oh, wow, great. I work in such a great place, providing all the options for me. But then I started realizing, like, what am I eating? It's not real food, a bunch of chemicals and gums and so on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want this. I started being vegan because I wanted to be healthy, and now vegan food is not healthy.
Yeah. I think vegan food can be healthy.
I agree. I'm not against vegan diet. It depends how you do it.
Exactly.
You can have whole fruits and, natural foods and be vegan and healthy. And also it depends on your body type and other things that I love to teach. But in the same time, if you're eating chemicals and all the gums and the almond milk that you didn't make at home and the beef patty that's made out of God knows what.
I know.
Yeah. That's when you stop being healthy. So I don't know, some people do vegan for other reasons, but I think the number one reason should be you and your body. Because just like in an airplane, if you want to help someone else, you have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you can help others. So if you're vegan for reasons other than health, then you're not really, satisfying those reasons, because you're not healthy yourself. Your body's not healthy.
I was also vegan for
Yay.
only 3 months.
Okay.
I couldn't handle it. I don't know how I did it. What am I eating? Carbs? It was a weird... But it was my fault, not veganism.
Yeah, you can be healthy and vegan if you eat real food. And I think you have to know what you're eating. A lot of people do vegan wrong. Obviously, the artificial ingredients, that's out. But if you do it just raw fruits, sometimes that can be a cleanse, right? But are you ready for a cleanse? A lot of people cleanse without being ready for a cleanse and end up harming their body. I think it's so important to do this with knowledge. It's either you know what to do, you learn how to, eat all the calories, all the proteins, all the things that are essential to the human body, or you have a coach or a guide to help you make a meal plan of a healthy vegan diet. And another thing is, yes, you can eat a healthy vegan diet. Is your body resisting it? Veganism doesn't work for everybody. It can work for your body, and I mean like physically your body, your biological body, in a certain time. Like, for example, it did for me for 7 years until it didn't. If you feel like you're resisting eating that lettuce, which I hate lettuce, by the way, but let's say a beautiful tropical fruit, if you're resisting eating that, then you're not supposed to eat it. It's so simple to just like, if I don't feel like I want to eat it, I'm not going to eat it because it's healthy or any other reason. Because then it's not healthy for you right now in this moment. It might be healthy for you tomorrow or in a month's time.
Yeah.
So if you're resisting what you're eating on a physical level or even energetic, because they're both together, that's not the diet for you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Lettuce wrapped burgers.
I've never had those. I never want to have them.
في tomato wrapped burgers. أحس كل ماي.
Yeah. Feels
you
so
know,
soggy.
Yeah. But you know what's the only thing I can try? The onion wrapped burgers.
Like an onion ring?
So they get onion, they slice it too.
Okay.
They...
Bread it?
No.
Fry it ولا?
Bake it.
Grill it?
No, not bake it, grill it.
Grill it.
And then... Are you laughing at me?
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah.
They get the patties, dip in mash, and then the onion.
The recipe, yeah. Let's go start a business.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not like we're talking about something very important.
What do you mean? This is important to me.
Yeah. I should start a food series.
I think you should, yeah.
This is not supposed to be here anyways. After, remind me. ADHD.
Okay.
Yeah. Why did the carrot video go viral? What were you saying?
Okay, so basically, I had this series on TikTok of I don't buy this thing from a grocery store because of this. As a holistic health coach, so as if like that is a credibility of mine. I don't buy baby carrots because they're not the whole carrot. And baby carrots don't just grow. They do, but the baby carrots you buy in that little bag are not actually younger versions of the adult carrot. It's a whole big carrot that's usually deformed, and then they wash it with a lot of chemicals, cut it into size, and sell it with a package. And you don't need to wash them because they're washed with chemicals. Those chemicals get absorbed into the carrot and makes it unhealthy for you. So I made that TikTok, and a lot of people love baby carrots because they're a convenient food. So yeah, it just received a lot of hate, and most people didn't know that carrots don't grow in a smaller size. And well, they do, but those are not the same ones. People have opinions online.
Can we even eat the real baby carrots?
You can if you harvest the adult carrot early, but usually it's not something that's sold in stores unless you're in a very posh store. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just found this out a few years ago.
Yeah.
Even baby corn. What is baby corn?
I have no idea.
That's why we can't digest it.
Exactly. This is another thing. Veganism is popular now and being pushed by brands, corporations, commercial, making money, because vegetables and fruits are not most of them are not real anymore. I used to love fruits and vegetables. I used to be vegan, and now you don't even see me having a salad. I sometimes have fruits and vegetables, but it's a rare thing because it depends where I am and what's in front of me, because a lot of the fruits and vegetables are so heavily GMO'd and modified and chemically sprayed.
No seeds. Some of them have no seeds.
No, like our fruits today are not our fruits 100 years ago. Obviously, if you go back, they were even completely different. I think, breeding vegetables and fruits in a natural sense is fine. But then when you introduce chemicals and genetically modifying them, it becomes so different from the original form. And that's why veganism is being pushed, because please eat all those vegetables that we grew cheaper than how much we would spend if we grow meat or raise cows and meat products. Most farms today are not held by farmers. They're held by corporations, very big and not very nice ones. And the way they grow things, like mono farm, I don't know what the exact term is, but like growing one type of food in a whole area, that makes the soil weaker. Like having different plants grow on the same field, different plants have different properties. And the way they bring nitrogen to the soil and other things. I'm not an expert in this, but I love to learn about it, because if we had or lived in a small community where we would farm our own food and have different types of foods growing with livestock, that would be very much satisfying for the community. And then having to have a traditional job, like a corporate job, would be reduced by a lot, because you're working on your farm with the community and you're supporting yourself and you don't need that job. And most farmers anyway had to leave the farm life because a big corporation bought their land, and then they had to step into the corporate world, which no one likes. No one likes the corporate world.
That's my dream, by the way, to have a big plot of land. I don't need a big mansion. I just need a big garden, big field.
My favorite dream. I have so many dreams.
Yeah, well, I think we came to the end of this chaotic interview.
I loved it.
Me too, actually. Thank you so much, by the way.
Thank you.
For coming.
My pleasure.
Any feedback?
Thank you so much for holding the space and hosting this thing and sharing it with the world. It's a true gift, and inviting me is a privilege. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Decoded Journeys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell to get notified when I upload more videos. Thank you.